The Hisense HS5100 is one of the brand's new 2024 soundbars. The HS range comes in two models. There's the HS5100 and the HS3100. The HS5100 includes a soundbar, subwoofer, and two rear speakers. The HS3100, on the other hand, includes the exact same soundbar and subwoofer but doesn't have the rear speakers in the box. The specs for these soundbars are in the name. The HS5100 is a 5.1 channel setup and the HS3100 is a 3.1 channel setup. The HS3100 essentially caters for those who don't want the rear speakers or have space to install them, whereas the HS5100 wants to deliver the full Dolby Audio surround sound experience. In this review, I'm tackling the HS5100. This is a 540 watt 5.1 channel sound system. It includes a wireless subwoofer and wired rear speakers. I will have a review of the HS3100 up very soon, so keep an eye out for that. That soundbar is a 340 watt 3.1 channel sound system with a wireless subwoofer and soundbar. When it comes to the package of the Hisense HS5100, in the box you'll get the soundbar, the subwoofer, a box of accessories, and two rear speakers. The accessory box includes a power connector for the subwoofer and soundbar, along with wires to connect the rear speakers to the system. You'll also get some screws and mount brackets to mount the soundbar and rear speakers onto the wall. You'll also find some instruction manuals. Hisense has also included an HDMI cable. Of course, there's also a remote. Everything is neatly packaged and protected. The small form factor of the box also goes a long way to reduce waste, which is great to see. Hisense has also made this package easy to work with and set up with few cables and steps. This is great for those who might be technologically challenged. When it comes to the products themselves, let's start with the soundbar. The speaker itself is fairly lightweight. It is only 90 centimeters in length and 9 centimeters in depth. It sits off the TV shelf by 6 centimeters. The smaller design makes it ideal for most entertainment setups. The soundbar boasts a full black design and a fairly basic shape. The fabric portion of the speaker sticks out slightly from the back end, giving it a little bit of a personality. The top also features a ribbed plastic design. There are also some etched words on the side that read "Life Reimagined." The same etchings can be found on the top where you'll see the Hisense branding. Speaking of the top, there are a few buttons to manually control the system without the remote. There's a power button, source button, volume up and volume down button. You'll also find the display window in the front. It is mainly only visible when the device is turned on, although you can slightly see it through the mesh fabric. When it comes to the ports at the back, the soundbar includes an AC power port, an optical port, an auxiliary port, a USB Type-A port for music playback, and an HDMI port. This port also includes ARC support. You'll also find the mounting sockets at the back for the soundbar if you want to install this onto your wall. The subwoofer is then a large black unit that comes in at 30 centimeters tall and is 16 centimeters wide. It is a rectangular box with a large black fabric ring on the right hand side. The ring looks quite cool and gives the box some style. There is of course an air hole at the back too. When it comes to the port, the subwoofer includes a power port and two auxiliary ports, which are used to power and send content to the rear speakers. So you've kind of guessed by now that the rear speakers are connected to the subwoofer. Speaking of the rear speakers, these back speakers will be crucial to providing the surround sound experience. They are quite small and come in at only 15 centimeters by 9 centimeters and are 6 centimeters thin. Like the soundbar, they also include a black mesh front that is bezeled out of the plastic. If anything, they kind of look like parts of the soundbar which have been chopped off. The entire soundbar package is exactly what you would expect from a lineup at this price point. The overall design does work. The soundbar is also small enough to fit in front of TVs and underneath them. Setting up the system was simple enough too. I plugged in the power to both the soundbar and the subwoofer. I then plugged my HDMI cable which was connected to my ARC port and settled down the soundbar on the counter. The rear speakers on the other hand do require a bit more work. They are wired speakers, so you'll need to run cabling from the subwoofer to the spot where you want the speakers installed. The included cables in the box for the rear speakers are quite long at 8 meters. It should be enough for most setups. However, if you need more, you could always chop the included cable in half, extend it with more stereo speaker cable, and connect it together again. I would recommend this if you're worried about cable management and tidiness. I personally ran the cables under my carpet and up the wall behind my couch. But you could also position the subwoofer next to your couch to provide less travel distance between the rear speakers and the cable. You could also extend this cable by a few more meters and then run the cables up the walls and on the ceiling of your room. This would be the best case scenario and likely the neatest way to install them. Once the room was set up and the speakers were ready to go, I spent a good few days testing them out. The speaker system includes the most common and important sound codecs for modern entertainment. This includes Dolby Digital Plus and DTX Virtual X. There's no Atmos here, which is expected. This system doesn't have any up-firing or side-firing speakers to produce Dolby Atmos sound. Instead, it focuses on the surround sound experience. When it comes to the speakers themselves, the soundbar includes 3 main front-firing speakers. One is in the center, one is on the left, and one is on the right-hand side. The back speakers then pack a single speaker. Combine that with the subwoofer and you get your 5.1 channel system. The Hisense HS5100 can be controlled with your TV remote if it's connected through eARC or in this case ARC. Hisense has also included a TV mode on the speaker system which lets it sync to select Hisense TVs. The company says this mode is basically the same as ARC and eARC. Likely just named TV mode for people who don't understand what ARC is and understand how it works. It makes sense to have something like this, but the TV mode in this case is nothing different than ARC. Testing out the system provided some decent results across all content. The surround sound experience was likely the best part of this package as it unlocks the ability to hear sounds behind you when gaming and watching TV. The rear speakers are incredibly loud and quite clear. They even pack a bit of a punch which gives the sound output some power. I was very surprised these little speakers were able to produce such great sound. The rear speakers definitely do their job of delivering some new immersion of entertainment thanks to these drivers inside of them. I especially enjoyed how the room would fill with sound during intense fights in Elden Ring and stormy scenes while watching Netflix's Dark. It is an immersion that you simply can't get without rear speakers, and the HS5100 does an excellent job here. The soundbar sound quality itself is good too. The center channel is loud and powerful. Using the news mode on the system, it then amplifies spoken word, making certain content easier to hear. This is great for documentaries and of course news content.
Snap out of it. Did you fall asleep again?
Am I under oath?
The soundbar's general output quality was okay most of the time. It did struggle a bit in busy scenes with loud explosions, relying more on the subwoofer for the rumble and bang rather than the soundbar for the finer details. The left and right channels were also great at providing a distinct positioning for sounds in certain scenes. The system also includes other sound modes such as gaming, movies, music, sports, and night. All are quickly selectable using the remote. I could also tweak the settings slightly by increasing the bass and treble both to +5. Keep in mind that you can't manually tweak any other levels of sound on the system. This is likely due to the processor in the HS5100 set to its own algorithms for the equalizer modes. Apart from the equalizer, the system also comes with two surround sound modes. One is Surround Sound Pro and the other is Surround Sound Pure. The latter uses the input to accurately create surround sound, while the other uses the channels to stimulate surround sound when the content hasn't been created with the mode in mind. Using both modes provided a decent surround sound experience. I did notice that Pro was a bit more punchy compared to Pure. This is likely due to the simulated boost in bass. But both modes helped create a more immersive experience. Playing Mario Kart 8 was especially fun. I could hear my opponents behind me as I whisked past them. Not to mention hearing all the shells fly past me as they went from the front of my TV to the back rear speakers. I also tested out the Bluetooth music playback. Syncing my iPhone was pretty simple and playing music worked as expected. The music mode on the system also amplifies the experience here. Overall, the Hisense HS5100 did exactly what I expected from it. It provided a decent 5.1 surround sound experience without costing a small fortune. The addition of the rear speakers helped create that immersion, and it goes a long way to elevate all content you consume. They are also quite powerful for a system that costs this little. When you pick them up, they feel empty and incredibly light, so I wasn't expecting them to make much noise. While they certainly won't hold up against a high-end system, they are definitely great value here. While the Hisense HS5100 isn't the loudest and the most feature-packed around, the asking price here is a fraction compared to its competition. As a result, you're getting a capable and humble sound system that is way better than your TV speakers. So if you want to take the dive into surround sound 5.1, the Hisense HS5100 is a great starting point. So those are my thoughts on the Hisense HS5100. Are you looking to pick this device up and have any questions? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll also have the HS3100 review up very soon, so like and subscribe while you're here to keep updated when that goes live. I'll also leave a link in the description down below where you can find out more about this specific soundbar. Again, huge thanks to Hisense for sending this my way to review. I had a great time with it. Until next time, farewell.